What's up, guys? Just found out about a brand new movie on Shudder called Grafted, and we're going to review it. Let's go. Grafted stars Joanna Sun, Jess Hong, Eden Hart, and is directed by Sasha Rainbow.
你看我现在多漂亮！
What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2025 review. This is a movie called Grafted. It actually came out last year, but at the beginning of every new year, there's always a little bleed over from the last year. Oftentimes, like streaming services like Shudder will get a movie months later after it was actually released on VOD. So I'd never heard of this movie. And thank God for the horror community, because I scroll my Instagram every day, and sure enough, got to give a shout out, Slasher Junkie. I posted, I think I had just gotten The Substance on 4K from Walmart. I don't have to wait 2 weeks to get it from Amazon. Just so you guys know, check your Walmart and look for neighboring Walmarts that might have it, and then you can get the curbside pickup. But I posted that, and then Slasher Junkie said, nice, make sure you check out Grafted. I usually trust his opinion, so I'm like, yeah, okay, let me do this. And so I watched Grafted today, and oh my God, yeah, we definitely have to talk about this movie. Wow. By the way, if the picture looks a little different, I'm trying my vlog camera. I rarely ever do this. I usually use my main camera that I've been using for 10 years, but I like mixing it up, so why not? Let me know how it looks. So a word of warning. First off, I'd say don't watch the trailer, and I'm not saying it's a bad trailer. I still haven't watched the trailer, but there were so many elements in this movie that kind of revealed themselves as the story went along that I thought to myself, my God, I'm glad I went into this cold, just because this is the type of story that's, it just constantly evolves, right? And I can imagine that a trailer for this might, I don't want to say spoil, but there's just some nice surprises that you probably would not expect along the way. Trust your Uncle Lee on this. Go in this blind, okay? Also, please subscribe to the channel. 2025 is the year you need to subscribe to Drumdums, because there are so many freaking potentially great horror movies coming out this year that I'm going to be recovering, and I always throw in some surprises along the way as well. So we have a good community here. Subscribe. We have snacks. If you don't like foreign films, the opening of this movie, and I mean like the first 5 minutes, it starts off in China, and there is no English. It's all subtitles. I love foreign films. I actually love reading subtitles in movies. I just reviewed Red Rooms. Oh my God, that was one of the best movies of last year. But if you don't like foreign films, don't fret, because the opening 5 minutes of this movie is in Mandarin. I think it's Mandarin. It's based out in China. But after that, they quickly go to New Zealand, and the rest of the movie is in English, all right? So if you really, really, really hate reading subtitles, then you just only have to do like the first 5 minutes. But if you do, shame on you. But the reason it opens in China is because our main character, her name is Wei. Her and her father, they have a nice relationship together. Her father is a scientist. He's creating this skin graft serum, or, whatever you want to call it. He's basically creating medicine to evolve the skin graft industry. And a terrible accident goes wrong. If you're a scientist and you roll the dice, sometimes really, really bad things can happen. I'm not going to spoil it, but really bad things happen at the beginning of this movie. The story shifts over to the present day when Wei is a teenager, or I guess she's in college. She's college age, and she lives with her aunt. And her aunt has a daughter. This is where you can really compare the story to kind of like a Cinderella type thing, because the daughter and I think 2 of her cousins or friends, they are just bitches, like royal bitches to Wei. And she feels like, Cinderella, and kind of a fish out of water type thing, but more of the wicked stepsister type thing. And I think story-wise, it was smart to go this route, because the path that Wei goes down in this movie gets pretty damn violent. And I think it helps, especially in horror movies. We love it when really bad people have bad things happen to them, okay? We can't help it. We just love it. We're demented. But Wei carries forward her father's teachings and even advances it. And so then there's this professor there who is greedy, and he finds out that she can, create this solution. And so he wants to jump in on it, but he wants it all for himself, and he's just a complete asshole. He's one of those professors that messes around with the students. You get the idea. So as you can imagine, with a story like this that involves heavy body horror elements, I really loved how this movie, it wasn't a simple type of story. And what I mean by is you could take any story and just take kind of the basic nature of it and just follow that path along the way through the rest of the movie and don't really evolve. And you still might come out with a decent flick. There are a lot of really simple stories that are really well-directed movies. This story actually goes in crazy places, and it gets really violent, really bloody, but also it has a great arc for the main character, Wei. Kind of like what The Ring does in, Lord of the Rings. There's a lesson here. We're so consumed with body image and wanting to look perfect, and the media definitely doesn't help with that. And I think that's the big lesson in this movie, is that Wei, she's sort of ashamed because she has this defect on her face and she wants to get rid of it. And then there's events that happen in this movie that present the opportunity for her to fix that. But it's one of those movies where she goes down a really bad path, a really nasty rabbit hole, and she can't get herself out of it. I think Wei is a really strong character. You are totally rooting for her at a certain point in the movie, but you understand how she kind of takes a dark path. And it's fun to watch characters like that because you're kind of angry with them, right? You're like, I loved you, and now you're starting to do really, really bad things. But it's exciting, it's interesting, and it's entertaining. This would be a really great double feature with The Substance, which, funny enough, I just finally got The Substance today on 4K. And I could not wait to get that movie to add it in my collection. Is this as good as The Substance? Of course not, because it's the best movie of last year, but this is a fantastic film. And also one thing I definitely want to mention about this, because I don't want to give too much away, but there is this homeless character that I believe he's a burn victim because his face is fully disfigured. The guy is actually in the movie at like specific checkpoints as Wei is going down a darker and darker path, and you'll realize that it's there for a reason, and he's there to remind her that this, what you're chasing after, you're going to find that once you get it, it doesn't really solve your problems, right? What matters is what's in here, not how beautiful you are. But the movie does it subtly, right? It doesn't try to hit you over the head with a shovel, as a lot of movies with messages can do these days. So that's it. I'm not going to tell you any more because I want you guys to really enjoy how this movie plays out. Again, it's very violent. If you're a horror fan, you're going to love this. If you don't like horror at all, you might want to steer clear from this, all right? Because it's not going to be for everybody. But I think us horror fans are really going to revel in it. As far as any cons, I think... without getting too spoilery, I think there are elements that you can pick apart in the movie. You could say, as far as how characters look after they actually inject the serum and I guess fix their face, it's not always going to be exactly like it was before, in the host. And you'll see what I mean once you get there, okay? Again, being very careful. But I'm giving this a high purchase worthy for sure. This is a big surprise, and 2025 is shaping up to be a nice year. And by the way, my last review for Presents, I'm usually on the divisive side of things where I like divisive movies, and Presents is a very divisive movie. I didn't like it. I guess it was sort of like a Skinamarink type thing. But, I had solid reasons. But there were people in my comments that I think they were mad at me because I didn't like the movie. But, just calling it like I see it. But let me know what you guys think of Grafted. It's on Shudder right now. Please go check it out. Let me know in the comments. I love getting in my comments and talking about these movies with you guys. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where I talk horror all day and every day. On Fridays, we do FIFA Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on my social. Support me on Patreon. Become a channel member. Buy me a coffee. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. And Drumdum out.